we have got the messy hair and we're gonna roll with it because that is how we roll over on this channel. I wanted to talk with you guys about something that I've been really thinking about recently, and it is that your work title is not who you are, and what you do for work is not your purpose in the way you think it is, and that it is so much deeper than that. And being somebody who is in such a self-reclamation period of my life, I think really digging deep to understand why I do what I do has been so powerful in helping find not my practice, but my purpose as to why I'm here on this planet, doing what I do, doing what I love, the deeper meaning behind all of that. And I think to explain this, I'm gonna use myself as an example. I'm an aesthetic nurse. My practice as an aesthetic nurse is to be skilled, educated, knowledgeable in administering treatments like Botox, skin treatments, doing skincare consults. And quite often when people ask us what we do, we don't actually answer with our purpose, we answer with our title, we answer with our practice. And my question is like, why do we all do that? Like when somebody asks me what I do, I always say I'm an aesthetic nurse, which is not a bad thing to say, but what you do is actually so much deeper than that. And what I mean by this is understanding not what you do, but why you do it. And I think this can go so much deeper than most people actually think. I think for a lot of people, when somebody would ask you, oh, what do you do? And you might say, I'm an aesthetic nurse. And then you go on to say, I'm an aesthetic nurse because I love to help people. And it's like, okay, that's great, but like, what does that mean? And then some people might get a little bit more specific and be like, well, I like to help people feel their best. And then it's like, okay, well, how do you do that? And I think the more you start to ask yourself these questions and learn and understand and dig through the actual why as to why you do what you do, the more you'll learn about yourself and your actual purpose. So for me, it's like, what do I do? I'm an aesthetic nurse. Why do I do it? Because I like to help people feel their best. But what I'm learning is that the way that I like to help people feel their best is actually to be a guide in helping people reclaim themselves and choose themselves again. I think somebody like myself, and I think a lot of us who have undergone periods in life where we have abandoned ourselves a lot. Maybe we grew up as people pleasers. Maybe we grew up in a chaotic environment. And then we learn how to reclaim ourselves and to choose ourselves and to put ourselves first again in a very healthy and secure way. I think that we can then become a guide for those people also seeking that. And I think that's where it comes back to like, what do you do for work and what is your title? And it's like, when people ask like, what do you do? Should we be answering with our title or should we be answering with our purpose? Because really, the aesthetic nurse part of me is simply the tool in the toolkit, right? Like I believe that I'm here not just to administer Botox, not just to give skincare consults, but actually to help people choose themselves again. And the aesthetic nurse part of me is simply one of the tools in my toolkit to get to do that. I think the deeper I get as to the why, the more I feel fueled and have a clear direction as to where I'm supposed to take this in life. And I think it's a very powerful thing for everybody to explore. And maybe the way I explained that was kind of confusing, but I think it's so important to separate your practice from your purpose, because your practice, your job title, what you do for work is such a small part of your purpose. And I think it's important to learn the difference between the two and to essentially understand how you can better cultivate that. But that's what I wanted to talk about today, and just share what's been on my mind, because that's been something that I've been thinking about recently and I feel like it's not talked about enough. So I wanted to come on here, I wanted to share with you guys, and I want to know your thoughts. Let me know down in the comments section. What do you do for work, number one? And what do you feel like the deeper purpose underneath that is for you? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already. I'm planning to do a lot of these types of chats on this video because I love these conversations. They're the type of conversations we need to talk about a little bit more, you know? So thank you so much for being here and sticking through to the end, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.